Hello, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to listen in. I am Maipelo, and this is a warm-hearted welcome to a segment under Tawela and I's collaboration titled Creative Connect, under which we will be helping creatives connect with each other as well as connect with their inner sparks for a more meaningful and productive community in Botswana. Creative Connectors, thank you for returning for another riveting installment. And for those joining us for the first time, welcome. Today's conversation will be looking at the practical ways by which seasoned and new creatives can do better at engaging with one another and hopefully circumvent the issues brought about in our previous post. So last week, we briefly touched on some of the benefits that solid amateur professional creative alliances could have not only for individuals, but for the creative market, communities, and industry at large. At the end of the day, we as creatives are all supposedly working for at least one similar outcome, and that is the optimum growth and viability of our respective industries. This, of course, is achieved by a healthy, competitive, and functional creative ecosystem, which we spoke about at length in the previous post. If you missed it, we invite you to go back a week and listen in. There will be 5 practical suggestions, methods, and strategies offered in today's conversation that can be executed through the Amateur Professional Creative Alliance. Remember that the creative ecosystem is primarily established, crafted, and steered by the relationships and connections between creatives, hence the emphasis on its importance. These relationships are located on the micro level of the creative ecosystem, making them the foundation and the tone setters of all the activities on and between each respective level. We're going to talk about interactive projects, apprenticeship, mentorship groups, coaching, and forums. Each suggestion, method, or strategy encompasses all or at least one essential aspect that needs to be involved and promoted when genuinely looking to initiate functional amateur professional creative alliances. These aspects are 1. Accessibility, 2. Relatability, and 3. Achievability. Accessibility in this instance has to do with the method's ability to promote ease of access to certain people, resources, or information. Or in other words, how easily does the strategy allow for seasoned and new creatives to avail themselves, get together, and share time and vital information. Relatability is concerned with the method's ability to instill genuine rapport through empathy and transparency. So in other words, the applicable strategy looks to establish closeness between those involved by finding agreement or things they agree on openly and honestly. Achievability is concerned with the method's ability to drive and bring about accomplishment. The first suggestion would be advocating for interactive projects. Interactive projects are activities or ventures that encourage tangible interaction between creatives who have differences in the level of application or working experience of their skill. This kind of work is contrary to the common and current bid and tendering processes that tend to pit creatives against each other and frequently opt for those who are well established and or have considerable track records. This is not to say that seasoned creatives don't deserve the opportunities that they receive or even make for themselves based on their reputable track record, but rather it's to say that alternative professional opportunities, spaces, and ventures should be introduced to mediate the growing gap of experience caused by what we can now view as polarizing procurement procedures due to the state of our economic climate and job market. These unsavory factors are further compounded for local creatives due to the nature and state of our local creative economy. Calling for, supporting, or even initiating interactive projects has the ability to even out the playing field, to say, in a sense that regardless of skill level, it allows for each person to informally teach and learn from one another while actively accomplishing something of substance for both parties and building on individual experience and profiles. Facilitating an even playing field encourages those who are involved to moderate their egos and work to distinguish the superiority complexes that they may carry with them. These disruptive personality attributes only serve to dampen working relationships and at times potentially distort the self-confidence and self-images of the amateur creatives. You may be wondering what an amateur could possibly teach a professional. Well, it does not always have to be new lessons, but sometimes reinstilling values, qualities, or attitudes that may have faded over time. One in particular being how to reignite genuine love, excitement, and appreciation for what you do. It is easy to become bogged down by the pressures, deadlines, and responsibilities that accumulate over the course of a professional's career that may cause them to become numb or indifferent to the delight, pleasures, and enchantment of what they do. Of course, there are many other lessons that can be taught and learned from both parties, but we won't get into them today. Apprenticeship is another method or strategy that can improve the amateur-professional creative alliance. Apprenticeship is a position, arrangement, or system of on-the-job training that places amateur practitioners in a teacher-student relationship with a working professional who is deemed as an expert of a particular trade or craft. This is a reciprocal arrangement where the amateur is imparted with knowledge, competence, and, depending on the profession, some kind of certification or license to practice. In exchange, the professional receives a stipulated amount of labor from the amateur. Teaching and learning happens best in interactive ways. Apprenticeship also allows for the opportunity to grow from relevant constructive criticism and its immediate application going forward. Beyond that, apprenticeship is an accessible way to thoroughly pass along and monitor the appropriate professionalism and etiquette needing to be installed in amateurs who may otherwise be none the wiser. This is applicable across a wide range of disciplines, and I myself was an apprentice for a year at a dance company in South Africa in between my graduate and postgraduate studies. It was a deeply enriching and indisposable experience that exposed me to industry elements that would have taken me quite some time to gain on my own as a freelancer. I did not receive a license or certificate to perform because I already had prior qualifications, but I did gain notable performing, administrative, and teaching experience. In addition, mentorship groups are an easier going way of creating a larger quantity of amateur professional creative alliances. Mentoring is an agreement between a professional, who in this case would be seen as the guide, and an amateur who is seeking out the broadening of their future, career development, and horizons. Even though mentoring works to develop the future, it does so by solving immediate problems or issues found in the present moment being experienced by the mentees. This arrangement can be configured in many ways depending on the expertise and time availability of the mentor. The professional can take on multiple mentees needing guidance across a range of terrains, or just take on one mentee. Mentorship is a way to enable close relationships that can foster and maintain inspiration. I myself am in a mentor arrangement, and I cannot stress enough the benefits that the access to pragmatic and realistic guidance has had on my ability to successfully implement my intended plans. For those amateur or even professional creatives who need focused and specific assistance and encouragement, seemingly not requiring prolonged levels of interaction and contact, coaching is a great alternative. Coaching in the context of the Amateur Professional Creative Alliance functions as a means of cultivating self-confidence and positive self-image in regards to your ideas, goals, and potential. Unlike a mentor, expert, or teacher, the coach is positioned as a mirror, helping to reflect back to the amateur their capabilities and potential to improve upon themselves. Lastly is the forum format, which is a meeting or medium where ideas and views can be exchanged. The Amateur Professional Creative Alliance can benefit from this format because it gives the opportunity for creatives from a range of disciplines and ages to express themselves, be heard, and start to understand each other and alternative perspectives. By setting up creative forums that happen at regular intervals, we as creatives can, at a mass, start to redefine and unanimously standardize certain elements in our creative environments that have been eluding us for quite some time. Before we bring the conversation to an end, I must stress that strategically improving on the relationships between creatives, especially those at the beginning stages of their career and those well within, will have far-reaching and long-term benefits. In the inferences of Timothy Galway, the biggest obstacles to success and achieving potential are internal and not external. So instead of looking outside of our micro level of the creative ecosystem for solutions, let us rather start to employ the various methods to improve upon our working relationships so that we can stifle the unnecessary tensions, misunderstandings, and sabotage which we often arise and find ourselves in where there is a lack of unity, harmony, and understanding. I am sure that we all want high levels of professionalism, visible and meaningful participation, as well as continuous social, economic, and political growth of our creative ecosystem and respective industries. That's it from me today. As always, we encourage all of you to come on the journey with us and stay the course. Your presence and participation are vital. We love hearing from you. So we encourage and welcome your feedback, questions, and comments that will be addressed in the follow-up topic next Thursday. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, stay connected by staying tuned.